Hi everyone, this is Frida, and today I wanted to discuss ADK 2.0 as I know a lot of you guys have been already working with ADK, so it might be important for you to know what has changed in ADK 2.0. Think about it. Have we been asking just too much out of a prompt? We all have been there. We have been overfitting our system prompts like it's a pair of shoes that is just a size too small for us to fit. We want to handle every single edge case in order to avoid every single possible hallucination. But maybe the secret to a long-lasting relationship with AI isn't more talk, maybe it is more structure. So this is where ADK 2.0 comes in handy. We're moving away from the messy drama of prompt-based and structure, and we're moving into the chic, organized world of graph-based workflows. It's like going from a chaotic blind date into a well-curated, organized dinner party. This means we can define our agent's logic into a graph of execution containing knots and edges. So this also means we can combine AI-powered agents with deterministic tools and also all plain Python code. Because let's face it, sometimes you want a poetic response and sometimes you just want the check to be calculated correctly. So think about it like a credit card application. You wouldn't just trust anyone to check your bank balance, would you? Some things just need code-based precision. But for the complex stuff like the credit card analysis, you let LLM work its magic. The beauty of this new feature is that it lets the LLM does what it does best, reasoning and understanding, while the graph can actually handle the business logic and the flow, giving us a more structured execution and increasing the reliability. So let's take a quick peek under the hood. You can see here the first thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be defining my schemas, right? We want to have a structure outputs, and this is how we ensure that we can have schema enforcement with Pydantic. So here I'm just utilizing or defining already my classes. The second thing is I will be defining my first workflow node, which is going to be an LLM-based agent in order to extract what needs to be done or needs to be extracted by the agent. And here you can see I'm using already hybrid nodes as the third step is going to be a Python-based function. But you can see here, I also am returning a schema that has already been designed. And as a last thing, I'm going to be also using an LLM-based agent just to generate an answer for the customer. And you can see here I'm using the workflow class and defining my ages. Every single time that I start with my start keyword, it's a new workflow. Now, let's take a look at how does it work on the UI. So when I'm running ADK web, you can see here I'm going to be choosing my graph-based agents, and I'm going to be prompting Sarah Jenkins, who is looking for a new setup for her home office, and she wants to order a keyboard. And you can see actually here how the whole workflow is represented as a graph. You can see here the first node is actually an LLM-based agent. You can see the second response is actually a Python code or a Python function. And the third one again was an LLM-based flow. And then we have our finishing node. So you can see, or you can have a more intuitive graph-based approach when it comes to this type of graph-based workflows, right? You can break a complex multi-step process into a very deterministic graph. And yeah, that's what you can do here with the new feature of ADK 2.0. In ADK 2.0, everything is a node, an agent, a tool, or just a function you all know and love. This makes it incredibly easy to transform your already existing code into workflow nodes with features like automatic event wrapping, Spark parameter injection, and type validation using Pydantic. We can also easily manage complex flows like conditional routing, failing out tasks to run it in parallelly, and then at a later point joining them out together. So for example, one of these complex use cases comes when it comes to conditional routing. Here I have my LLM node, and I also have a Python-based function, and I'm going to be using the join node, which showcases this framework's ability to safely pause workflow execution until all parallel dependencies have been completed. This join node also neatly aggregates the outputs into a dictionary keyed by the specific node names. Here you can also see I'm using the routing decision node paired with the conditional edge dictionary, so success and failure, just to showcase how you can use the system semantic reasoning of an LLM to dictate the control flow of the backend system here. Another cool thing here is that by routing from start to both of these nodes simultaneously, you can drastically reduce the latency because you're running tasks concurrently
rather than waiting for them to finish. Here you can see the graph. You can specifically see the conditional routing and both paths that can be taken. Here you can see both of the tasks are run parallelly and the join node is waiting for them to finish. You can also see here the success path, it's being trigger, and this is why it only goes to that specific path. But we can also observe what would happen if we would modify our prompt here and see if it goes the other way when it comes to the conditional routing. If you remember, we define our conditional edge dictionary also with a failure node, and you can see here that it's also being triggered this time. So the beginning of the workflow stays the same, and basically it just gets routed into the failure node. So this also works as well.
The other major update in ADK 2.0 is how our agents collaborate with each other. We're introducing a powerful collaboration API that allows for more sophisticated and task-oriented agent interactions. Moving past a simple handoff into a world of coordinator agents and specialized leaf agents. It's all about the composition. Parent agent delegates, a sub-agent executes and delivers, and thanks to context isolation, they can keep their secrets safe into their own branches. No more messy drama.
In this collaboration API, we have three specific collaboration modes. We have the chat, which is the full user interaction, the one that we have observed in the default version. We also have the task, which is basically only limited to user interactions for classifications and then returns the control back to the parent agent. And we also see the single turn. So the no user interaction, it basically acts as an agent tool. So here when I ask about the weather, the root agent routes the intent to the weather agent. And let's remember this agent is actually using the single turn mode. So it's basically being used as a background worker. It fetches the weather using its tools and immediately passes the data back to the root agent, and the root agent answers this. If I have the prompt, I want to book a flight, what happens? Well, we're seeing the task mode in action. The flight agent requires a strict flight input schema to proceed. Because I didn't provide us details like, for example, origin, destination, date, name, etc., it takes over the chat to ask me for them. I don't need to write complex looping logic for this. ADK 2.0 handles the back and forth automatically. And you can see here, once I provided all of the details, it executes the booking by calling the right tool for this and then returns the control back to the travel planner. So what happens when I need a little bit more of help planning a complex multi-day itinerary? Well, this is the chat mode in action, the classic agentic experience that you all know and love. The assistant has taken full control of the session. It maintains its own state and memory. And unlike the task mode, which exists as soon as the schema is filled, this agent will stay engaged with the user indefinitely until the user explicitly asks to return the control to the main or to the root agent.
So to sum it up, ADK 2.0 is all about giving us developers more control, more predictability, and more reliability when it comes to building sophisticated AI systems. If you're an AI engineer like me already working to implement or build these agents, you might want to check out the new features at ADK 2.0. And if you have any questions, drop it in the comments. Bye!